the topic of your Images and Iframes project should be you and your interests. Let's look at how to do this. First thing you're going to need is your HTML skeleton with all the required tags. And then the next thing you want to do is go into your title and put in your name and the project. Go ahead and save that, and you'll see it shows up in the title tab. Now, next thing we'll do is come in here to the body and create the title of the page. I'm going to put an H1 tag. I'm going to save it. There's my name. I'm going to put some more content in before I start styling this. So next thing I'm going to do is put in a paragraph, and I'm going to paste in just some Latin text called lorem ipsum. This should be information about you and your interests. Now from there, I'm then going to go ahead and come down a bit, and I'm going to put in an H2. Now this is, let's put in some photos. And then we'll put in some photos there, and then after that I'm going to put in video inside of another H2. And you can see that that text is all there, right? So we can start styling at this point. So the first thing I'm going to do is come in to my name here, and I'm going to go ahead and give it a color. So I'll put in style tags with the quotes, and we'll do color. Let's do green. I save that, it shows up. I also want to put in a font family. And you can use, and you should use, Google Fonts. So I'm going to go right ahead and use one now. Let's go down to Google Fonts. Find something that you like. I'm going to find something nice and blocky here. So I'm going to just go with sans serif. Get a good thick font. If you know what you want, you can go right ahead and search for it as well. Maybe something like that. Let's try this, notable. So I'm going to go ahead and hit plus, open that up, and it should give me this. I'm going to take that link that links it back to Google Fonts so it knows what the font should be. And remember, you want to place that inside your head tag. So I'm going to go right here besides my title and make sure it's in between my two head tags. And the next thing I'll do is take this font family. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go ahead and paste that right here. Let's take font family back out, paste that in, and when I save it, you can see it now shows my name up here on the top. Now, next thing I want to do is center my text. So I'm going to do a text align, and I'm going to put in center, and I save that, and now that is in the middle of the page. So looking good so far. Next thing we'll do is put in some borders around each of these H2s just to give it a little bit of style. So we'll come down here, put in style, and we'll put in border. Now the border requires 3 different values in order for this to work. It needs to have a color, it needs to have a style, and it needs to have a size. So if we put in green, put a space, we'll put in the size. So I'm going to put in 2 pixels, and then you can do the style. Can be solid border, could be dotted, could be dashed. So I'm going to do dotted, and I'm going to save that, and you can see that it makes this dotted border all the way around it. And there's a lot of different types and styles you can do. Just for example, dashed, maybe we'll leave it on dashed. So I'm going to do the same thing down here. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and copy that. And I'm going to paste it down here on the video one as well. I'm going to save that, and you're going to see it shows up here also. Let's now put a video in here below where video goes. So you can find one in different places on the internet. I found one here on Vimeo, and I'm going to hit this paper airplane. And it's going to ask me if I want to share it, which I do. I'm going to take this iframe. An iframe tag allows you to take a part of another site and display it inside of your site. So I'm going to take that iframe tag, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it below the H2. So when I save that, it's going to look like this, right? That video actually shows up. You can see that I've got this extra text down here, which if you don't want it, just go look at where it lives. Let me see. So there's my iframe. Here's this whole paragraph, which is showing that. So I'm just going to delete that. So there's my iframe that shows the video and where it's coming from. There's my size, the height and the width that you can change if you want your video to be smaller. But you can leave that. If you don't put in a height or a width, it will just scale in proportion to the other one. For example, if I just take out the height and maybe I want the width to be 500, that will work and it would shrink down the video. But I'm going to go ahead and leave both of those so it stays full size. Next thing you want to do is get some photos to put in. So we'll come up here underneath photos and find some photos. We'll go to images and just find some things that you like, that you think look good. Take something like this, and I want to right click and I want to copy the link address. Actually copy the image address where the image itself lives, the address right to that image. We're going to copy that, and then right here we'll put in image and then source. That's telling it where it's coming from. You could have them downloaded on your computer and use them, or you could reference them from the internet, which is what I'm doing. I'm going to paste that link inside of there, and then an image does not have a closing tag. It's a self-contained self-closing tag. So if I save that, it's going to show up, and you can see it's pretty big. So I want to go in there to image. There's my source, so I'm going to go before the closing quote. In fact, we'll go after that closing quote, and we're going to put in a width equals, and we'll put in quotes, and we'll put in 200 pixels. And I save that, and you can see that it shrinks down. Maybe we want it a bit bigger. We can change that, save it, get it just a little bit larger. Another thing that you need to include in your images that is required is something called an alt attribute. What that does is if your image happens to break, it will display that text so people know what's supposed to be there. Or if somebody with a disability has a screen reader, it will read to them what that image is. So we're going to put in alt, and we'll put ocean landscape. So I save it. You'll notice that there's nothing there. You don't see anything. But if I break this, let me just go ahead and take one of these out of here. If I break my image, you'll notice it says ocean landscape, and it actually shows it there. So let's go ahead and fix that. Now, another thing that you're going to want to add to this, just so you can practice it, is a title. So alt is required, title is not, but let me show you what title does. So we go ahead and save that. If I hover over it with my mouse, you'll notice it actually says ocean landscape. So that's what the title does. So you'll need at least 5 images, size them so they look good, get them across here, get a video, get a couple of these H2s, and you're going to want to leave comments inside of your HTML. You need at least 5 comments. Here's how you make a comment. So right here, I'm going to put an HTML comment. So you put an opening angle bracket, an exclamation point, and 2 dashes. Notice that grays everything else out. So if I save it right now, nothing's going to work because it's all a comment. And I'm just going to put in photos, 2 dashes, and close it. Now everything should work again. But these are basically just notes to help people who are reading the code know what things are supposed to mean. So right here I know that these are my photos. And then I could come down here and do the same thing right above my video. And now I've got a second comment. So make sure you get several of those in as well. In addition to that, let's go ahead and justify our paragraph here. You can see that it starts all nicely on the left side, but it kind of is jagged here on the right side. You can make it centered, you can make it right aligned. In this case, let's justify it, which will make the right and the left sides in the same spot and just kind of space out the words better. So we'll put in style, text align, and then we're going to go ahead and justify this. When I save it, you'll see it all ends in the same spot, looks nice, and pushes it out to the edges. The last thing that we're going to do here is we're going to take and put in a background color and image on the page itself. So first thing we can do is go to the body tag and put in style, and then we'll put in background color, and let's just do something like antique white, and I save that, and you can see the color it goes. And I'm actually going to have an image here, but this is just in case my image breaks, so that my background is still a similar color to my image, and that way you can still read the text and it still has a similar look and feel. So now we'll go to here and let's put in old paper, get some sort of texture like this. I think that looks great. Let's see. So we'll take this image, I'm going to right click and I'm going to open the image in a new tab and get it as big as I can get it, which in this case is too small, so let's try another one. Put in large with that and see if that brings up some bigger images. So we'll take something like this and open that image in a new tab, see how big that one is. That's pretty big, so that's a good one. So we'll right click on it, we're going to copy the image address, and then we're going to go and put that in here. So we will put in background image, and then we'll put in the image. We'll paste in where it's from. We'll save it, and we'll go ahead and refresh, and notice that nothing works. So we'll right click and we'll copy the image address. We'll come here and we will put in background dash image, and then we're going to put in a URL. So you have URL with parentheses, and this is where you paste in the location where your image is coming from. So I'll just go ahead and paste what I copied, save that, and you can now see that on this page I have my image as the background. All right, and if for some reason my image breaks and I save it, it just goes back to a similar color, so that works out well. So double check the requirements, make sure you get everything, but that's the basic idea of your project.